Welcome back to A Corporate Time. On Zoom with us right now, she's going to be at Tampa this Friday at the Tampa Civic Center. You can get tickets. You can either go to, tampatheater.org.
Yeah, you can go to tampatheater.org to get tickets there, but you can go to our guest website,
oscocomedy.com
Yes,
as
sir.
well. And on Zoom with us right now, Atsuko Okatsuka. I'm sorry.
How we do? Atsuko Okatsuka.
Atsuko Okatsuka.
Yes.
We did.
We practiced that a while.
For about an hour.
Atsuko, I
Yeah.
apologize for screwing it up. I knew I was going to screw it up.
We were going to try to impress you by actually saying it correctly, like Chelsea Handler did, and we blew it. And we certainly apologize. But hey, thank you so much for the time. We actually have a strange connection. One of our favorite comedians that's ever been in here, who was going to ride my Vespa around the block. And she stayed here for a very long time, but I'm talking about the legendary Margaret Cho.
Yeah, and Atsuko, you've got an experience that very few humans on this planet have ever had, and I want to just get your
Kind of walk through it a little bit. Yeah,
and the retrospect of this happening. But Atsuko, you tell a story about you receiving a Margaret Cho DVD when you were in church as a child. And, of course, you came here when you were 8 years old from Japan. So, you get this DVD, and Margaret Cho kind of inspires you to get into comedy.
What did that really mean? Like, can you tell us about the DVD and what it meant to you?
Yeah, the DVD. Well, I didn't even really know what stand-up comedy was at the time because I was 8 and I'm in a church. So you just do church things. Like, I know all the stories in the Bible, and that's it. And then, here's this, I turn on the DVD, here's this woman talking just for an hour, like talking funny. And I was like, this is a job? Hold on, nobody told me this. She's hilarious. Like, she looks like me. What is going on? I love her, And so I didn't actually think I could do it immediately. I think you have to have a wild self-confidence to see someone do something and be like, I can do that.
Right.
You know what I mean? In what world? Oh, I'm sorry, you had great parents. Okay, if you can think that way, but I was, which is great, awesome. I want people to have a happy childhood, but I watched her and I was like, wow, the slot is taken and she is queen,
And that is true.
Yeah.
I mean, like the idea that, Margaret Cho, out of everybody that I knew growing up, was probably the only Asian face that I saw that was dominating comedy. And what it must have been. Do you know why it was that DVD? Was everybody Asian there, or did it just happen to be a Margaret Cho DVD? Did you know that comedy was like a thing, or was it just like, how did that even happen?
You know what? I should have said this earlier. I went to an all Asian church.
There you go. I just wanted to make sure.
It was a Chinese church, and so it made sense. They were like, "Hey, look, this person looks like us." They talk funny, and they talk about things we probably shouldn't talk about at church.
Sure, exactly.
And I was like, "What? This is like contraband." They were whispering when they gave me the DVD during a sermon. So yeah.
Now, lots of people have that experience where they see something as a kid. They're like, wow, this is inspiring. I want to do this. Now, here's where this experience no one else gets.
Literally mind-blowing. Right
is
here.
that fast forward to you become a stand-up comedian, become so popular that you are eventually on the New York Times Magazine front cover with Margaret Cho, and she passes the proverbial torch to you. How crazy is that? Obviously it happens slow for you, but for just to see that story is like, that's insane.
Yeah, what does that mean to you?
Yeah, it's wild. Well, first off, I'm always like surprised by how small the world is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I love doing comedy because of that too. It's to connect. It's to see how small the world. How small you can make the world. That's what comedy is. It's trying to be like, this is what I think about the world. What do you think? And oh my God! And all these people I've never met in Singapore, in Mexico, in Tampa are like, I relate to that. Like, that's making the world small. You know what I mean? And the comedy world is small, so we all tend to know each other. But it is incredible to be like, me, you, are you kidding me? Like, yeah, you from my DVD, from my little TV, probably like a 13-inch TV.
Right, yeah.
At that time, you know what I mean? I was watching it in my uncle's garage where I lived. Are you kidding? And then here we are. We're friends.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and she's a mentor of some sorts, and and we got to pose together.
Oh, that's
And
crazy.
somehow we look almost similar in age, which I'm like, okay, I need to work on my game.
Margaret is,
Yeah,
she's has done very well
Like when
in
she
that
came
department.
in here, it was like the door opened and she just kind of floated in like an entity. Yeah, it was really, really cool. But yeah, we've been very lucky to have her in a couple times, and she's so nice and so sweet for somebody that mega big.
Atsuko, I've always wanted to ask a celebrity that has a unique haircut this question.
Did you tell her that you used to rock this haircut?
Well, I used to have your same haircut.
Like
but,
up until
Yes.
8 years ago, he was rocking it.
But my question is that, do you feel pressured to never change your hairstyle?
It looks awesome.
Because it would be bad for business.
I joke about that a little in this hour that I just taped as a special for Hulu.
Yeah.
But yes, I joke about it because it's on T-shirts, and my fans show up to my shows wearing wigs of my bowl cut.
Yes,
You
I've
know what
seen
I
that.
mean?
Yeah, yep.
I've created a monster. It is a cult, but because of that, I think, right, like musicians, right? Like you can change with different phases and eras. Like a different album means a different look sometimes for a musician.
Sure.
Okay.
And so, yeah, I think one day eventually, like it'll be like a little different. We'll still keep my bangs or something because I want to keep my third eye covered.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think eventually, I could change it. But it's like the Beatles, we know the Beatles for their iconic haircuts and their looks.
Well, yeah, that's what it's part of your brand.
Yeah, well,
now.
you have like also. I was gonna add in. It kind of ties into like you and I guess your husband. I think you guys dress cool. Like you guys look cool and you like bright colors and you look fun and like. You wear like funky glasses, and I think it all fits, like chunky shoes and stuff. Like it looks like you guys are having a good time.
Yeah, I think it's awesome. Comedians, we get to do that. Actors, not so much, right? Like, because actors have to blend into whatever role that they're assigned to. And so it's cool. We're not Jennifer Aniston's, Bert Kreischer, he's known to be shirtless, right?
Yeah.
I'm known for my bowl cut. Like, we're easy to draw. And I think, like, literally draw, animate. And
Right.
I think that's what comedians are and should be.
Yeah, like in a weird way, you do kind of take on a caricature persona because you're supposed to. You're making people laugh.
Yeah, but I thought we've talked about Bert before. He's been in here too, and I thought about like now he can never do stand up with a shirt, and maybe that's maybe he's like I want to put on a shirt, and people are like take the shirt off.
Yeah, we were kind of talking about like Jelly Roll too, in that like to use a more permanent example, it's like a person that is super famous, but what if they did lose, let's say, 300 pounds and they look completely different? Will it make your base or your
it would affect your marketing?
Would it affect your marketing
business?
in some way? But I think you get more leeway. I think with yours. Plus, you didn't always have that. I think I saw you when you're getting married. You had like longer hair, right?
Yeah, with like maturity, I think people will go there with you.
Yeah.
Eminem is a brunette now, I think.
And he's got a weird beard.
Yeah, he does have a weird beard, but yeah.
Yes, because he's like father. He's like, I'm no longer that like, young person that's like mouthing off as much.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, speaking on and again, get your tickets for Tampa. TampaTheater.org, I believe, is the website that's the easiest. Can we talk quickly about how you invented the drop challenge? And you're probably tired of talking about it, but people are still doing it. It's still popping up. Like, how do you was it? I mean, that's just you walking around with your grandma. You do something funny, and did you like wake up the next day and you're like, oh my God, like my internet is exploded?
Yeah. Wait, are people still doing it? Are their knees okay?
People are still doing. I can't do it because I need double hip replacement. but yeah, people are still doing it.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Yeah, it is so silly. But again, it's about like, I want to entertain because I want to make the world small. And it was cool to see truly internationally, like people in like people who are fishers, or is that fisher?
Fishermen?
Yeah. Fishermen or fishers. Yeah, I like fishers.
Fishers.
Fishers could be in around the backside, but
Thank you so much. Yeah. So I make up words all the time. But like, yeah, people, farmers, all kinds of people from all over the world were doing it and going, hey, we don't all speak the same language, but like this we can all connect on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it was really cool.
Oscar, does it? I always wondered when someone creates something like this, like planking or owling,
This was
or
billions of. This
Yeah.
is like
What-
like you had like Saturday Night Live doing it. The cast of Hamilton was doing it.
But-
You had like
But once it gets out there, no one knows it originated
Right.
from you.
Yes.
So except for your followers.
so. How do you source it back to Osco?
Or does it help you in any way financially or marketing at all, or is it just a crazy
Yeah,
thing that
it's just
happened?
a thing.
Oh yeah, no, trust me. My grandma has already asked these questions. Do you get money from this? What is this? Does this help us in any way? And I'm like, sweetie, no. Sweetie, sweetie, sorry, grandma. No, you don't get that koi pond installed yet. Okay, that's still. I still have to go on tour, like going to Tampa.
Yeah, yeah. And let's talk about that. You've been on a world tour. Is this the third or second installment in North America? This has been a big tour, right?
Yeah, because I've been touring this special or like this hour for like almost 2 years now, and then it's coming to the end, coming to an end. Honestly, Tampa is like the third to last show I'm doing in
Nice.
North America.
That's crazy.
Atsuko, I'm curious as a stand-up, like obviously we see the business of you go on tour, you record a special, and you just mentioned you recorded this special for this tour. Is there a sweet spot for when you finally feel like you got it down to record? How much does it change throughout from start to finish? I mean, 2 years, I'm sure it changed a lot,
Is
right?
the set completely different now?
It's changed a lot, but sometimes I go back to a lot of the original too. For me, people work differently, but for me, I think I'm ready to shoot this special like 6 months in because I'm raw. I like to keep it like, fresh instead of like, we're not doing a play. We're not doing Shakespeare.
Right.
Yeah,
where
yeah.
it's word for word the same thing. It's different every night, and it should be that electric energy. So yeah, after 2 years, sometimes it gets too wild where I was like, this hour is getting too wild. Why am I suddenly talking about, something from completely different subject wise, So yeah, so for me, it's like 6 months would be perfect, but my team would be like, no, girl, no, you need to keep touring that.
Yeah.
Remember? Cash money. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. It does matter. It does matter.
Oscar, I got one more question for you. Because speaking of experiences that very few humans will ever get to go through in life, so you come here as a little girl from Japan. You're living in the United States. I imagine I can't even imagine. I got 9 and 10-year-old kids, and moving them to a different country and them getting acclimated to that is scary as hell. So you come to the United States, and then to think that one day you'd be throwing out the first pitch at Wrigley Field, America's pastime, is
man.
insane. Like
That's a big deal.
And I saw on your Instagram, obviously the whole video of you doing it. And I know you're not a big sports fan, but how bizarre was that for you doing that?
Oh my gosh, yeah. I mean, here's the thing. My team is a lot of boys. So, for me, I'm like, oh, I'm always telling them, I would love to like, be a guest on Is It Cake? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I want to
yeah.
do that. And then they're like, and then they call me and they're like, girl, we got the best news for you. Wait for it, wait for it. And they know I don't know sports, okay? That was my first time holding a baseball. Okay.
Oh my God.
And they're like, you are going to throw the first pitch at the Chicago Cubs game. I don't know what that sentence means. I'm Googling. I'm like, I'm Googling Cubs. What is Cubs? Different pictures of baby bears are popping up. I go, what's happening? They're like, you're gonna play the Chicago Theater, so you're gonna do that. So I was like, I don't want to offend people. What if I do it wrong?
Oh yeah, they will get mad. Yeah.
What if I throw it backwards and
Yeah.
hit someone? And so it was actually more like the pressure. There was more pressure than it was like this. It was an honor. It was cool, and I loved the mascot.
Oh, the
Yeah, I saw you hanging out with the bear,
okay,
the cub.
Yeah. I don't know what his name is.
I
He's
forgot
got
his
a name. Cubby or something. Yeah.
He's so sweet. He's so sweet. Yeah. So it was fun, but it was a lot of pressure. I didn't want to offend.
Yeah, that is a lot of pressure.
It may have been the first time anybody's ever thrown the first pitch, and that's the
and
first
not knowing
time
where they're at.
Well, that's the first time they've ever held a baseball before. that's got to be a first.
I know. People were like, "You didn't practice?" I was like, "Girl, I had like 2 days, okay? I was on an airplane. I was at different cities. There's not a baseball field just readily available for me while I'm just like touring Midwest really fast."
No. Well, there'd be some out there, but yeah.
And you also did a good job. There's been celebrities that have done way worse.
Well, 50 Cent.
Thank goodness.
I think you did better than 50 Cent.
Yes, you did.
I was going to say, name names.
Yeah.
Thank goodness.
50 Cent was terrible. I'm trying to think of another one that was terrible.
Oh, there's a whole reel on TikTok of celebrities throwing them like, 10 foot to the right of the catcher. They're horrible.
No, you did fine. You did fine.
Like it's a shot put.
Yeah. Like,
Atsuko, one last question. With even like doing media, you got a huge social media following. It seems like you have audiences obviously all across the world, and they will come see you. Like you just have to promote, through your own social. No, you're doing some media with us today, and I imagine you do media in different cities, but it seems like it does get to a point. We've seen it with other stand-ups where they're like, no more media. I'm just doing my own social media because I can promote myself and to everybody I want to.
I could do one drop challenge with my grandma and sell all my tickets.
Are you looking forward to that, or do you still think, like we talked to other celebrities, they're like, no, I'll still do other media just to get my name out in front of people that don't know who I am? How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I think it's good to do it all. I get to meet you guys, for example, and it's fun. And also, like, it's traditional media and social media, like they go hand in hand. People are there for both. Also, in these times, people are always taking like social media breaks anyway for their mental health.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In this economy, in these times. So yeah, I mean, they're like, I'd rather listen to radio or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I've never thought about hitting the people on mental health breaks. So
Yeah,
you hit conventional media for that. That's a good idea.
Hey, Tom and Dan are there for the people
That's good.
who have cut bangs into their haircut way too many times because of too much social media.
Yeah. I got it.
Do you take social media breaks?
I do not, but I'm also mentally unwell.
Oh, yeah, there it is. Well, Atsuko, thanks so much for taking the time. And again, get your tickets at Tampa Civic Center. You can go to oscocomedy.com and get your tickets right there.
Have a great time in Tampa. If you're ever popping around Orlando, we'd love to see you again.
Thank you so much. Yes, of course.
See you
lots
soon.
Lots of love.
Yeah, lots of love back. That is Atsuko. Can I say it right? Okatsuka. I can't say the Okatsuka. Atsuko.
I get so mad at myself when
what'd you do wrong?
Well, I mispronounced her name at the beginning,
Well,
even though I was
you
like,
had to do some heavy lifting. I don't have a voice, so you're basically
it's not that heavy. I've been doing this for 20 years.
But it's a lot.
You know how embarrassing it is.
It is, but it's a lot of pressure to have her on the line, and it's like hitting a half-court shot. For the insurance, the $500K, right?
Well, that's way harder. That's 1 out of 100.
I don't think.
If someone said like Atsuko Okatsuka,
I don't think we can hit the name Atsuko Okatsuka with her on the line. I don't think we can.
I spelled the phonetic O-Cot-Ska.
Okatsuka.
It's easy. Sam's in there laughing at me. The ghost of Sam's laughing. Sam, get in here. I blew it again.
You can't tell her to get in here. She don't work here anymore. She don't work anymore. Don't you dare get in here. You go back to that couch.
She laughed.
Don't you dare.
Sam knows Atsuko, right?
Get in. Your hair looks nice.
Yeah.
Thanks.
He said, get in here. Don't you dare get in here. You apologize to her.
She was laughing that I blew it again.
She don't work here. You don't have to do a word you say.
Did you hear me blow it?
I walked in mid-interview. I'm not even sure what was going on.
We got to talk to comedian.
I could only hear, your end of it. So.
What's her name?
Atsuko Okatsuka. Yeah, she's Asian American comedian that has a unique name that I did look at. It spelled it phonetically.
We practiced it for an hour.
We heard Chelsea Handler say it. We're like, okay, that's the way you say it. The person at Wrigley Field blew it, by the way.
Well, those guys always did. And I remember you asked me that question. The guy that used to announce for Orlando City, he would every name, especially the Middle Eastern ones for some reason.
You get it wrong.
He'd get them all wrong. I'd be like, you're doing that on purpose.
You would think you'd go over them. Who doesn't? Like, I was like, I better get this right. Got it wrong. God damn it. All right.
People get the national anthem wrong, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, but the whole world goofs on them. That's what I want to be professional. Anyway, all right. We'll see you tomorrow.